after Thanksgiving and holiday spirit, first snowstorm, and first day of December. My goodness, the winter is almost over. Anyway, just very quick rant here before I leave and face the winter blues. I always get this a lot, but this particular one was a little bit deep and coming from someone, let's say liberal, I think say liberal, whatever that means. And usually people ask, what do you think of Israel? Or what do you think of Netanyahu? What do you think of whatever, Jew? What do you think? And this fake argument about uh, that democratic Israel, Israelis, and the right to exist and right to defend itself. And there is no such thing as a state right to exist. There is a political entity, and people have the right to exist. No, not the state. State change. Yugoslavia, Soviet Union, South Africa. Uh, a lot of countries is just even Germany. Nazism change. It's not the same, and so states do not have by a God given inherent right to exist. If it's Nazism, it's racism, it's a state that full of pariah, declaring war on its people, killing minority, killing people of color, don't have the right to exist as a political entity. Would change and change the political system and become something else. But people have the right to exist, of course. Wherever you are, you have the right to exist, human rights. But this, after what happened in the last 2 years in Gaza and the genocide that was rationalized and streamed in the front of millions of people and exposing the rotten, sick ideology of Zionism, still some people will defend and rationalize it. And you all heard about this American Zionist uh, liberal. They crawled out of their holes. They kind of try to explain what happened, why a majority of people in America, even in the Republican, conservative, and MAGA people have negative view of Israel now, and people around the world, can stomach Netanyahu or that genocide. They've seen kids been bombed, killed, raped, and so that you cannot deny that. But with your intellectual sophistication and rationalization, like this Sarah Hurwitz, this is Obama's speech, right? Obama's speech writer. This is the made Obama articulate and speak both of his mouths. He's a political cross-dresser. I've been saying this all along. Now you know why. This is just a functioneer. People come try to justify atrocity and banking, corporate America being anti-immigrants or anti-worker, anti-labor. This goes sophisticated functioneer. You pay them, they tell you what to say. When they go low, we go high. That's one of her best line. Probably she got praise for this. She got that line that Obama used, and this is bullshit. He is the lowest and the lowest. But you can say things. Language doesn't mean anything. So those functioneers come and they are terrified, panicking. They said, we're losing the battle, we're losing the narrative, and Holocaust education is backfiring because it taught people to be sympathetic with the weak. That's an argument she's making, and she's sitting there. She's just panicking. She needs to get her pills or some kind of medication. And then she was talking to, of course, the Jewish Congress, wherever she was, and she is, kind of don't know what to do. People have their phones, and now they see all this bombing and all these kids, Palestinian, are bombed every day, and they kill the people are killed, and they see this body of children flowing away, and now they think, you know of Israel, Zionists, and she said millions of people around the world see this, and millions of people hate the Jew. She is a speechwriter of Obama, saying millions of people around the world hate the Jew, not the Zionists, not the Israelis, not the IDF, not whatever the fuck is. Those are the people who are the intellectual elite. These are the people that define the narrative. What is right, what's wrong, what's human rights, and Palestinians, and terrorists and Hamas terrorists. Nobody go and talk to the leader of resistance in Palestine, in Gaza. Talk to him. What's the narrative? What you got? Why you guys fighting? And people go and interview IDF and expert and Netanyahu and all this Nazi, Zionist, and get their narrative, humanize war criminal. But you never go and talk to the people who are fighting for their life and land and been fighting Western hegemony for 80 years. So what is Palestine? When if you talk about it from even historical, even from generical, Palestinians are descendant of the real Jew. They really came descendant lived in Palestine and converted to Christianity and Islam and whatever. So the Palestinian have more, if you're going to go that route, blood libel, Palestinians are more Jewish than the Ashkenaz that came from Europe. Those are, convert, those are white convert European who came with this mentality of superiority and then without people for people without land, that kind of crap. And no, nobody question why the German they went there and slaughtered millions of their best. Why the German uh, slaughter with the Jew were Germans, were the best professor, best science, best. Why would the country go on and try to eliminate their best? I'm not saying all of them, but the Jewish intellectual and Jewish genius, they were overrepresenting in the Jewish community in Germany, in Europe altogether. Why would any country do this? So it was really a clear cut that people, the hate, Jew haters, it was before the idea of Zionism and the idea of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism was a new phenomena. The recent phenomena. And instead of saying Jew hater, that's very emotional. That's very backward. You cannot. That argument will not fly in a modern, rational Western thinking. So you have to come with this anti-Semitic. What is Semitic? Who is Semitic? The Semitic people were all over the place. They went west and east and north and south, and they are all over the places. The Semitic were, they look wherever that the conditions, a Jew, Ethiopian Jew will look Ethiopian, a Moroccan Jew will look Moroccan, a Palestinian Jew will look Palestinians, a German Jew will look German. So there is no one generic Semitic thing. It's all a fallacy. So the idea that they're coming back to their homeland, promised land, promised by whom? That God did not promise people like Netanyahu, Palestine or Israel. Netanyahu is a European, both Poland or Russians, and he's a criminal, corrupt, secular uh, mass murder is not the one you're talking about, and descendant of Moses and and I mean, when you look at Judaism, it's not monotheism. You know, when you look at it, they only believe they have their own God, and some other religion they have their own. I remember right after 9/11, whatever, I was invited by Star and Tribune and some other community leader. You can call him, I don't know. I didn't know anything, and I was late as usual. Arabs always late. You know, time is just way overrated. So what? I missed a few bullshitting in the meeting in the beginning. So what? Panic. Calm down. Yeah, what were we talking about? Okay. So we were talking about Abrahamic religion, and all the three religions come from the same Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and Abrahamic can bring us together. And you know, I went with the bullshit. And the guy that is one of the Jewish community here, as a journalist, and he said, "No, no, no. I want my own God. No, we don't want mess with others. You know, you guys keep your God. But don't mess with our God." And this is guy right for the Star and Tribune. We say, okay, then, you know, let's go to everybody has his own God and get a statue and just worship in your basement or whatever. But anyway, that just strike me in nowadays that people that they think of themselves as rational, intellectual, and liberal, and they have this ideology of exceptionalism, and when they are functionaries, they just do their job, speechwriter or a financier or a politician. It's political prostitution, and it's the same thing what happened to the Jewish to the Germans. You know, the Germans, when what they preparing the ISS, you know, the security, they didn't pick up the protest and the people, the zealous, the people who hate the Jew. No, they don't want people without emotion. They want people without intellect. They want people, average people, like, you know, a dentist, a teacher, a delivery boy, a cab driver. They want him to. That's what Trump is doing now, bringing this for those his, you know, his militia, private militia, eyes. They don't. He doesn't pick the practice. He pick just average people looking for a job, looking to do job and follow orders. And that's what the German did, you know, brought people who will not question orders. Millions of people want to have jobs and they want to do it right. They know there's something going on in the other end of the train or it's Auschwitz or concentration camp, but they didn't have any idea what the details of it, and they didn't want not. And gradually, they grow up in it. Now it's too late. Now, the whoever running a train or collecting data or statistic coming from IBM, tell them what religion those people are. So IBM took part of this. And those it was too late. People were interested to get a raise, to get promoted, then beyond morally and say this is wrong, killing other human because of the religion or the. But no, that was too late. And then indoctrinated in the Nazi ideology, and he doesn't really care. All he wants to get a raise or promoted or whatever, and he goes back after he done all these horrible things all day as a bureaucrat in distribution or construction or guard or whatever. He goes back and you know, have dinner with their family and take his kids to Sunday school and just a normal life. So the idea of magnifying and then one other thing, I was wonder why the Allies did not bomb Auschwitz or concentration camp or these trains that were hauling thousands of people for their deaths. Why didn't they bomb any of this? Wouldn't they make you wonder? Not a single bomb dropped on any of these places. This camp, work camp, concentration camps. Wouldn't that save some? Even if it kill some, like what the Israeli did And October 7th, they bombed everybody, including the hostage, including everybody. And and so they want these people to, they want Auschwitz, and they want concentration camp, they want all the things. Until today, it's none touched. So they can tell the story of the Holocaust and can justify this war that uh, end up uh, getting rid of the Jew and move them to Palestine. Just the justification. The biggest supporter of the Zionist movement participated in the German army. They want this crisis to go so they can justify moving them to Palestine, to provide them with service and help and information. And so a lot of Jews who came here because they were not Einstein or uh, uh, great philosopher or thinkers who accepted them, useful scientists and doctors, but the common Jew, they were kicked back. They were sent to Cuba. They were sent to Africa. So it is not all black and white. It's not all Israel has the right to exist. Which Israel? The apartheid killing, mass killing machine? Israel have the right to defend itself from what? Occupying, occupying forces do not have the right to defend themselves. They have the right to leave, stop the occupation, stop the slaughtering. So this is just all the rant I'm going to see today. I just have good news. My film, the Coptic Grave, was also selected for another film festival in Paris. Hello Paris. We love Paris. Zeal International Film Festival. So looking forward to that. I don't know much of the details. Just got the announcement uh, yesterday. Oh, check out our media project at substack.com and follow us, become a paid member. Like that, a little bit will help. And to get all the updates on all the videos and all the rants and all. We're going to add a new segment called the Top 10, was just like David Letterman kind of a deal. And hopefully we'll see you soon.